Yo, dudes, the Empire's pretty chill. Maybe you could, join it or something.
Hey everyone, Lucamus Prime here. So, it's time for another franchise ranking video today, and today, guys, I'm going to be ranking the film series of films involving stunts and slapstick comedy, probably my favourites of this genre, and that is none other than the film series of Jackass. So yeah, now I'm going to be ranking all 5 of their films, guys, and it's going to be from best to weakest, because this is a ranking where, in my opinion, none of the films are bad. In my opinion, they're all good movies. They just get weaker and weaker, in my opinion, not worse and worse, if you get what I mean. So let's begin this ranking, shall we? So yeah, now, starting with what is easily my all-time favourite movie in the Jackass film franchise, I'm definitely going to go 100% with what is the second installment, which is, of course, Jackass number 2, released in 2006, directed, of course, by Jeff Tremaine, who I think, directs the entire series. So yeah, now, I really love this movie, guys. I really do. It's absolutely hilarious, in my opinion. Really is. It's just an absolute blast from start to finish. Probably one of my favourite comedy movies of all time in general. One of my favourite comedy sequels of all time. Yeah, it's really great movie, in my opinion. And what I love most about this movie is that, in my opinion, it's probably the most funniest of the franchise, because I'm not kidding, right? When I've watched this film, guys, I watched it a long time ago, but I've also rewatched it several times, on Netflix, for example, and then, of course, I got this on DVD, and when I watched it, every time I watch it, I'm always in tears of laughter, because it's so funny. It has me dying of laughter. Yeah, I just really love number 2, and if you guys wondering who my favourite crew members are, aside from, of course, the director Jeff Tremaine, I, of course, love, when it comes to a crew, my personal favourites are Johnny Knoxville and Wee Man. I just think they're both the best, in my opinion. They're just so funny. Johnny Knoxville and Jason Shannon Acuna, also known as Wee Man. Yeah, they're just absolutely hilarious, just like the rest of the cast as well, absolutely, of the stunt crew. And yeah, the stunts in this, in my opinion, are just the absolute funniest. They really are. And so yeah, wow. So yeah, I really love number 2, guys. My personal favourite of the franchise, and if I was to rank Jackass number 2 out of 10, I would give this movie a full-blown 10 out of 10. Easily the best of the films, in my opinion. Yeah, it's just a film that I can be crying of laughter at when I watch it. It's always a blast from start to finish. Yeah, it's just absolutely hilarious. Yeah, 90 minutes of pure comedy and hilariosity right here. It's just so funny. Yeah, I really love number 2. So, my second favourite, guys, would have to be what is the most recent of the films, which, of course, would have to be this year's Jackass Forever, directed once again, of course, by Jeff Tremaine, and yeah, was released earlier this year, on February the 1st, released in Hollywood, and then 3 days later in the rest of the United States and worldwide. And yeah, this was definitely a very lovely surprise, in my opinion, guys. I'm so glad they did a 4th movie out of the main Jackass films. And yeah, technically it's a 5th one, of course, but yeah, this was just an absolutely an amazing blast, and I laughed so hard at this, and yeah, it was really great. And yeah, I'm just glad we got this movie. I really am, because because after all the pain, that many of us have unfortunately gone through with things like COVID, for example, and stuff like that, this was definitely a much needed comedy movie to cheer us all up, absolutely. And also, guys, in my opinion, this is where they should stop making the films. I really think this would definitely be a really great way to wrap up the story of Jackass. I really do think so when it comes to the films. I mean, even the title probably suggests it's the end of the films, absolutely. So yeah, in my opinion, this was definitely a great way to wrap up the story of Jackass, absolutely. Let's face it, guys, the stunt people in this film, they can't do these insane stunts forever, can they? They can't do them forever. I mean, this film, of course, even had some injuries, of course, when filming it, so yeah, ouch. I mean, some people got hospitalised, sadly, which is a shame, so yeah. So this is why, guys, I think they should probably stop doing these films now, and this movie was definitely great to wrap it all up, because, yeah, the crew can't do the stunts forever, so yeah. But, yeah, nonetheless, guys, this is definitely, in my opinion, my second favourite of the franchise. I love this movie. One of the best films of this year, in my opinion. If I was to rank it out of 10, I would rank it probably a 9.5 out of 10, because this is definitely a great welcome back to the franchise and a great way to wrap it up, in my opinion. And then, what is my third favourite, guys? I'm going to go with what is the fourth installment of the franchise, and this is one in which they treat it like it's got its own narrative, like a story, and not just like a compilation of stunts. And this would have to be, of course, none other than 2013's Jackass Presents Bad Grandpa. Yeah, this is definitely a really funny film, in my opinion, guys. It really is. And as I said by narrative, let me explain why. So, the film, as you can see, is all about this grandpa, who's of course played by Johnny. And he plays a grandpa character who is an 86-year-old called Irving Zisman. And it follows him going on a road trip with his grandson called Billy. And yeah, Johnny Knoxville was great as Irving. He's played him before in the stunts, and in this film he was definitely great. And Jackson Nichol was also very good as Billy in this. And sadly, the crew members who've been in the previous films didn't really appear in this. It was only Johnny and Jeff Tremaine, really. But it would have been great if we saw more crew members appearing in this. You know, like maybe as cameos or stuff like that. But yeah, nonetheless, I still think this is an absolutely hilarious movie from start to finish. And what's also incredible about this film, guys, it's also the first Jackass film to be nominated for an Oscar, because the head makeup artist, Stephen Prouty, was nominated for the best makeup and hairstyling of the 86 Academy Awards, which is pretty cool, isn't it? Definitely a well-deserved nomination, because the makeup for Irving is definitely really good, in my opinion, yeah. Like, if I didn't know this was Johnny Knoxville playing Irving, I'd assume they casted an actual elderly man to play Irving. Like, wow. It was definitely very impressive, in my opinion. And yeah, I love Bad Grandpa, guys. Really funny film, in my opinion. And it's definitely really fun to watch. Absolutely. And just I'll absolutely blast from start to finish, like the previous two films I just talked about. So yeah, I love Bad Grandpa as well. And if I was to rank Bad Grandpa out of 10, guys, well, it's my third favourite, and I would rank it a very, very strong 9 out of 10. Absolutely, because I think it's definitely a great movie. And it even has an extended version called Bad Grandpa .5, which was also pretty good. It includes 40 minutes of additional outtakes and interviews, like how the other films have included additional footage in them, which is pretty cool. And yeah, and this is definitely a great film in a franchise, guys. Really great movie, in my opinion. So yeah, I would rank it a very strong 9 out of 10, because it was definitely a great movie. And then what is my fourth favourite, guys? I'm going to go with what is, of course, the start of a franchise, which of course would have to be 2002's Jackass the movie, which is of course directed by Jeff. And this is definitely a good start to a franchise, in my opinion, guys. And this is definitely, you know, really funny. And the stunts are just so funny, in my opinion. They really are. Like, there's so many stunts I could mention, really, but it's hard to say which one's my favourites in the franchise, because they're just so hilarious and usually have me dying of laughter. Although I will say that number 2, in my opinion, has the funniest stunts, I will say that. But this film, which starts off a franchise, definitely starts off really well, in my opinion. And, you know, the cast are definitely great in the starting. And this film was of course, you know, it came out of a show, which, of course, this film is based on. Which is pretty cool. A show which ran between 2000 and 2002, and yeah, 2001 as well. We reruns extending into 2002, and it was definitely a very nice, you know, welcome back after the show, in my opinion, guys. And I'm glad they made a movie out of it. And yeah, if anything they didn't really like about it, maybe that there is probably some scenes which are quite disgusting, because yeah, these films do have some quite vulgar scenes, and this one did have quite a lot of them. And sadly, there was also a scene with a dead animal, which was pretty sad, in my opinion, for me to see, because I'm one of those people, guys, that hates animal cruelty. I don't know if that was real or not, or fake, but even so, it was definitely not really nice to see, in my opinion. So yeah, but nonetheless, guys, it's definitely a great start to franchise. And if I was to rank Jackass the movie out of 10, I would rank it. It's a very solid 8 out of 10. Definitely a great start to franchise, in my opinion. Definitely really funny. And then what is my least favourite franchise, but still a good movie, in my opinion? So in 5th place, guys, my 5th favourite would have to be, of course, what is the 3rd installment, which is, of course, Jackass 3D, or Jackass 3, we want to call it. Released, of course, in 2010. directed, of course, by Jeff. And yeah, so this is a good film in my opinion, guys. It really is. But in my opinion, the weakest of the films. I mean, you know, the cast is still funny in my opinion, and the stunts are definitely, you know, really fun. I get a good laugh out of them. But unfortunately, you know, there are some stunts in this video which, in my opinion, you know, are probably the most vulgar. And many of the stunts in this also made me nearly throw up as well, I will admit. Yeah, most of the stunts in this film nearly made me throw up. And yeah, that's probably one of my bad qualities with the film. And sadly, this was also the last Jackass film to feature a guest appearance from Rip Taylor, who sadly passed away in October 2019, so may he rest in peace. But this was still a great film nonetheless. But it may have been, you know, the weakest of the films, but I still think it's, you know, underrated and a pretty good film in my opinion, yeah. And good if not great, because it was definitely, you know, really funny. And it's always definitely a blast to watch when I do a Jackass marathon, guys, because I do a marathon of all 5 of these films, absolutely. And it even, of course, has an extended version called Jackass 3.5, which includes unused material, which is pretty cool. And yeah, and nonetheless, this is still a great film, guys, but in my opinion, my least favourite to the franchise, was still a good film. And if I was to rank Jackass 3D out of 10, I would rank it a very decent 7.5 out of 10. So yeah, not terrible by any means, but in my opinion, the weakest of the films. But yeah, I still, you know, really enjoy it to this day when I still rewatch it, because yeah, I rewatch all the films, guys. I don't think any of them are bad. They're just definitely really fun in my opinion, they truly are. So yeah, guys, that was me doing my ranking of the Jackass films from best to weakest in my personal opinion. So first place would be Jackass number 2, my favourite. Second place would be Jackass Forever. Third place will be Jackass Presents Bad Grandpa. Fourth place will be Jackass the movie, and in last place, my least favourite would have to be Jackass 3D. So yeah, so none of the films in my opinion are bad, guys. I just think, you know, they just get weaker and weaker in my opinion. So yeah, and apparently it's due to the success of Forever, there's going to be a show coming out, like a new show. But I'm not sure if I want to watch it or not, but we'll see. I mean, Johnny Knoxville has you know, said that he might be leaving the franchise after the release of Jackass Forever and the extended version of it, Jackass 4.5. So I'm wondering, you know, what's going to happen with this show. I mean, hopefully it'll be good to watch, guys. I really hope so. But yeah, nonetheless, guys, I will always love the 5 films of a franchise to this day, and they're definitely a great blast to watch when it comes to getting a good laugh out of comedy. So guys, this is me doing my ranking of the Jackass films from best to weakest. So you know the drill, guys. Be sure to give this video a like. Also be sure to let us know in the comments what you guys think of Jackass, and tell me how you guys would tell me how you would rank the film in the comments below. I'd love to hear how you guys would rank them. Also, be sure to join Team Prime by pressing subscribe for more news from the future. If you'd like to be a member, you can press one of these pieces allowed, or you can leave a description. And Jackass Forever.